Let's look at making our building for a lot of our projects that we're going to do. And so I have up on the screen a prototype, and it'll have some parameters that I want you to absolutely follow, and then others you can be much more flexible on. The intent is I want everyone's project to look different enough to be recognized as an individual piece of composition. So what we have here is a two-story building, a commercial building or an educational facility, 2 stories, 2 wings. The idea being that the center is an atrium space. So if I pull back on this section box, and we can zoom in here, we can see that what we have is the 2 stories don't extend into this atrium space, and the assignment is to create 2 10,000 square foot sections. So the left and right section each are 10,000 feet. That's 5,000 square feet a floor, 2 floors, 10,000 square feet. The gross space would be 20,000, and then the atrium we're going to leave relatively flexible. All I'm going to require is that these 2 buildings be connected by this atrium, and the size of that atrium is really up to your own determination. Part of the challenge is that atrium space will go through experiments with thinking about lighting it, how it feels, how other rooms create light. So we have very few constraints on this. These buildings can be narrow or wide depending on what your interest might be in the development as you move along in the project. But this gives us a place to experiment with all kinds of features. For instance, right now, sitting on the top, I have a rooftop unitized heating air conditioning system, and it's something that we'll explore later on. So with that kind of starting overview, let's jump in and make a new project. Like this one. So one of the things we'll check for right now is the levels that I've established. I've got 0, 12 foot, and 24 feet as our levels. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to open up a new project, and we're going to make this we'll start with an architectural template. I hope that doesn't give us any problems with plumbing features and other systems later on. And I'm just going to check that to make sure that we have all our plumbing selection and our MEP stuff that we'll want to work with as we go ahead. So I'm going to go back to the architectural palette, and right away I'm just going to sketch some walls. And we're going to change the nature of these walls. We're going to move them into curtain walls. But to start with, we'll just start with an outline of our structure. So I'm going to go with architectural wall. Basic generic wall is fine. We'll make this wall, let's say we'll make it 100 feet. Well, I'm going to make it 150 feet. I'm going to change the nature of the way I made that other one. And I'm just roughly doing this. I'm not going to, we've got our atrium space. We'll come back over here. Let's say we're going to offset these a little bit. And this is the idea of what I mean by creating and actually I need to get back over to align with that one. And let me just flip to 3D. Let me join these here a minute. And we'll go off to a 3D view. I haven't one created yet, so let me set up a 3D view. Okay, so here we have our building footprint of all our walls. Let's go into our south elevation and set our levels up. We have a level at 10 feet. We really want to change that to 12 feet. And we want to insert another level. And we're going to move that up another 12 feet. And then I'll go ahead and select all the walls by right-clicking and select all instances visible in the view. And we'll make, now they're connected from level 1, and we want to connect them up to level 3. So there we've accomplished those goals. Let's go back to our 3D view. Let's change a few of these walls now, because that center part is an atrium. And I want you to be a little more thoughtful. I'm trying to go through this very quickly just to help you establish the starting parameters for this. Let's say we want those to be all glazed walls. So we're going to go to exterior glazing. So those are all glass. These are going to be our curtain wall modules that we insert in with our apertures to them. And let's just get a rough idea of what our square footage is. We're going to go to level 1. Actually, let's go to level 2 because that's where we want to put our oops, wrong drawing. Got to shut that off. Let me turn that off. Let's go ahead now and put in a floor. We'll stay at level 1, but we'll assign it to level 2. Generic floor will do for now, and we're just going to make a box because we want to be open to the mezzanine. We'll click that off and we'll finish that off. And it's not showing, so I need to move to level 2 to see the floor plate. And what we have is a good first pass because I have 5,000 square feet here. So off of my area, I know that part of the structure is fine. And it looks like I didn't correct something over here. Our lines are not completely in alignment here. Let's see if I can, these will stay aligned with each other. And ultimately I want another floor over here, mezzanine floor. And that hits right on 5,000 square feet. Now the size of the atrium space can be anything you want. I have no concerns about how that works out. We haven't established a floor plane yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and put in a floor without respect to the first floor wall alignment, just so we have a little bit of a site construct. So I'm on level, I want to go to level 1, and I'm just going to make a box to sit the building on. And we'll pop over to the 3D view so we can see what we've got here. We still need a roof yet. That looks a little peculiar. No, that's all right. It's rendering already. We still need a roof system yet, so why don't we go ahead and do that. We're going to use the Pick Walls tool to make a roof. And I'm going to make it sit down so it just has a little hint of a parapet. So I'm going to say -1 foot. And we'll just I'll try to walk through here a little bit carefully. And let's see if we've got that all connected. And we've got a little error there, so we want to continue sketching. Get 2 errors. So let's go up here and join these. And down here and join this one. Oh, and I've got them all with let's see if I can set this to 0 so there's no slope. I didn't deselect the 0 slope, so let's hope I don't have to redo this outline again. We do have a flat roof. And then we got it enclosed. Let's try to render this up a little bit so it's a little more recognizable visually. Okay, well that's a good start anyway, just enough to see what our building looks like. And now what we want to do is I'm going to select all of these walls. And we're going to change these to a curtain wall 1. I don't know why that kicked up and screamed. I have an error over here. All references and dimensions will be deleted. That's okay. Now that's defined as a curtain wall. Let's go ahead and edit that type. And I'm sorry, my pop-up dialog box is coming up on the other screen, so I'm going to drag it in. And let's duplicate this, and we'll call this aperture wall. Click OK. And we got to go out and get a curtain panel. We don't have one yet, so I'm going to go OK. And I'm going to go over back to the panel that we've already constructed. And I'm going to load that into the project. and it's project 3 right now. I haven't named it yet. Site 1 is the one I was demonstrating with. And we'll go back to that 3D view. And now it's just a glass surface all around the building. And what we want to do is go ahead, I'm going to select this. That's now aperture, and we're going to edit that type. Because what we want to do is we want to put in the new curtain panel we've got. So I'm just going to select on that and select aperture panel and click apply. And we still have some problems here because you'll notice we've only got one window in every one. So we need to start working through the idea of what the layout grid will be. And we'll go with a fixed distance. And for the horizontal grid, we'll go a fixed distance also, and we'll use 12 feet, which is our Florida ceiling height, or to the next floor, our level spacing. And we'll click apply on that. And now we have our curtain wall assembly applied to the building facade, and we have our glazed areas. And like I said, this is just one suggestion of one version of accomplishing that goal of 2 10,000 square foot departments, sections, divisions, whatever, connected by an atrium space. So I'm going to end this now, and then we'll go back into this and start looking at kind of the issues of lighting, etc.